Okay, so number 14, we are writing an equation and we're going to do it in slope-intercept form. All right, so, and we want it to be which is y equals mx plus b. And then we want it to be parallel to this line. So that means we want it to have the same slope. All right, so that means the slope is going to be -3, right? Because here's the slope. So our line is going to have a slope of -3. And we want it to go through this point right here. This is going to be x1 and this is going to be y1. All right, so I'm going to use the point slope form first. So I'm going to say y minus 3 equals the slope, which is -3, times x minus this -2. All right, minus a -2. All right, and so then what I'm going to do is I want to get it in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to get y by itself. So this minus the -2 is really plus 2, right? I'll make that a big plus, right? So that's really x plus, actually, let me erase. So that's really x plus 2. All right, so I'm going to use my distributive property here. Y minus 3 equals -3x minus 6. And then what I'm going to do is add 3 to both sides. And so I get y equals -3x, -6 plus 3 is -3. All right, so that would be the equation of the line in slope-intercept form, -3x minus 3. Okay, so it's parallel because it has the same slope, and it goes through this point because we use this slope-intercept or point slope form. Number 15, now we want to have a perpendicular line, right? So if it's going to be perpendicular, it needs to be the opposite reciprocal. So opposite means it needs to be negative, right? This is positive, so it's going to be negative. And the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2/1, right? You just flip it. And so that's just equal to -2. All right. Now we want an equation. All right, so the equation for any line, it doesn't have to go through a point, right? All it has to do is be perpendicular. So I'm going to say y equals, and it has to have this slope, -2, right? Because it's the opposite reciprocal, x, and then I could just leave it like that, right? It could go through the origin, or you could add any random y-intercept. It doesn't matter what the y-intercept is. And again, if you put this original line into Desmos and this line, you should see that they are perpendicular. All right, so that was, what number was that? Let me make sure I didn't skip one. All right, that was 15. And here we go on 16. Okay, so we got our dive team. We're raising at least $360. Okay, we're selling pizzas and cookies. All right, $6 per pizza, 9 per dozen cookies. All right, so that means we've got all right, and it doesn't say which is which, so I've got if I'll just go ahead and say 6x is going to be my pizzas, right? X will be the number of pizzas. All right, so this is going to be pizzas, because this is my x-axis here, and then my y is going to be the cookies. So say plus, and then 9 times the number of dozens of cookies. And this will be in dozens. All right. right, and this would be single pizzas. Okay. So now it says, and I want to make at least 360. So I'm trying to make greater than at least 360. So I'd be happy to make more, right? So I'm going to use a greater than 360. So that is my inequality. Now to find the x-intercept, right, I'm going to make y equal to 0. All right, and if y is 0, 9 times 0, this goes away. And so what I have, the equation I have is 6x is greater than or equal to 360. So I divide by 6, right? So I get x is greater than or equal to 60. I shall say equal. I'm just trying to find the x-intercept, so I'm just going to say equal. All right, so that means that would be a point, and it would be 60 for x and 0 for y. Okay, so 60 for x and 0 for y is my pizzas. That's my x-intercept. Then my y-intercept is going to be where x equals 0, right? So if x is 0, that's 0. So that gives me 9. Maybe I'll scoot that up. So that means 9y is equal to 360. Divide by 9, divide by 9, so y equals 40. All right, so the y-intercept is going to be when x equals 0 and y is 40. X equals 0 and y is 40. Okay, now I have 2 points, right? If you have 2 points, you can draw a line to connect these. And I'm going to, now for my inequality, right, if I graph the inequality, it was greater than or equal, right? I would be happy with 360, so I'm going to say it's equal. And then I'm going to shade up here. Okay. Now it says at least 3 combinations of pizzas and cookies. So you can pick any 3 points here. Let me change my color. All right, any 3 points here. In the shaded area, those are solutions. Those would give you at least 360. Okay, so for example, one of the points would be 20, right, for x and 55 for y. Okay, so that would be 20 pizzas, right? And 55 dozen cookies. All right, this one would be 35 and 35. All right, so if I get 35 pizzas and 35 dozen cookies, that will give me at least 360. And this would be 55 and 55. All right, so 55 pizzas and 55 dozen cookies. All right, so that's it. Good luck. There's also a couple things you can do. There's a Kahoot and a Math Space to help you practice. Hope you're having a great week. Bye.